I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea news. Big up to everyone that's really locked in. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. And we've got a packed Christmas Eve show for you guys. And following on from yesterday's show about the Antoine Semenyo inquiry, could we actually do something? But it transpired. No, of course we couldn't do anything whatsoever in regards to the Antoine Semenyo deal. Within 5 hours of briefing that we've inquired and we're interested, we'd suddenly pulled out of the race. How convenient. Where have we seen that before? We were going to dive into all the ins and outs of that, the embarrassment of the sporting directors, the embarrassment of Chelsea in the transfer market. We're going to look ahead to the game against Aston Villa as well, guys. So big up yourselves, smash the like, subscribe, as I said. Before we get into it, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Great kits, great quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want on the back. Chelsea kits, retro kits, whatever team you can find on the website, you can get it. So use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Right, let's say hello to some of you lot, and then we will get going. By the way, guys, is the lighting looking all right? I'm obviously not in the usual setup. I'm home for Christmas. It's a bit dark in here, but are we looking good, people? Are we looking good? I don't think we had much choice but to withdraw, given his stated preference. Let's see. Bro, we haven't got £65 million to spend in January. The whole thing was a scam. We're not spending any money in January. Embarrassing. Screwed. Yeah, it was embarrassing. Yes, big up, brother. Make sure you're subscribing. Yesterday's news was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. We were never in for him. Yeah, bro, I'm starting to think that. Big fan of Semenyo, big fan of me. Either way, big up, brother. Morning. Yes, I'll be there. We will be there. And do you know what? It could well be Antoine Semenyo's City debut against Chelsea. How convenient. Chelsea circus once again. Yep, just another day at the circus. Get into the summer and ignore Semenyo was right there, then realise your mistake to try and sign him. Yep, bro, I hear it. Yes, big up. Looking good. Yep, nice. We're all sorted then. Our club is fully cooked. The arsenification of Chelsea is nearly complete. It's not, though, because we actually do win trophies, despite the best efforts of the directors to stop that from happening. We actually have picked up a couple of trophies. But let's get straight into it, guys. Let's not waste any time here. Let's not waste any time here whatsoever, because we had the briefing that Chelsea had made an inquiry for Semenyo and whatnot. Oh, Semenyo was interested, was heading towards joining City, and then a Chelsea inquiry, might have changed his mind. As I said at the top of the show, 5 hours between putting out a brief of making an inquiry and being interested. 5 hours later, actually, do you know what? Nah, we're not interested. We had it first from Ben Jacobs. Chelsea have decided not to pursue Antoine Semenyo further at this point. Made a preliminary inquiry and have respect for the player, but belief in the current Chelsea attackers. Still an openness to summer additions. Also understand there is a plan to reward current performing players within the squad. Well, all the players that deserve rewarding within the current squad have already been rewarded. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. And then the classic, the absolute classic, is if they think we're complete and utter idiots. Belief in the current attackers. So if there's belief in the current attackers, why did you 5 hours earlier put out a brief that you're looking for a new attacker and we're interested in signing Semenyo? So much confidence in those attacking options, you put out a whole brief to announce interest in Semenyo. What we should have done instead was say, we don't want to pay good players competitive salaries, or we got rejected. The exact same happened with Victor Osimhen as well. We were straight up rejected. We got rejected by Antoine Semenyo. He doesn't believe in the Chelsea project. These directors cannot convince anyone over the age of 24 or 25 to join this project because it's a scam. And it's another embarrassment. But we've seen this so many times before. The classic XYZ brief, oh, by the way, after we fail to beat another club in negotiations or we get rejected by a player, we put out We've got belief. Actually, we have belief in the existing options. You know, this was a proven Premier League attacker, 25 years of age, turning 26 in January. He would have been plug and play, as we discussed yesterday. It was too good to be true. Why confirm the interest in the first place? Why put the brief out there in the interest to get people excited for no reason whatsoever? Why do that? Why would you do that? How many times have we seen this? We have seen this time and time again. Mike Maignan, Michael Elise, Osimhen, Semenyo. This is the sporting director's rinse and repeat guide to transfers. Pretend to be interested in players. Make an inquiry. Then you brief the journalists to get the fans hyped up. You then pretend that you didn't realise that buying said players would require big transfer fees and high salaries. Get rejected, then brief journalists that we don't actually want them and we've actually got belief in the current options. And then by doing that, they make the fans hate the sporting directors and the hierarchy even more. That is the rinse and repeat cycle of Chelsea transfers and what these sporting directors do. Anytime you see Chelsea interested or being linked to a top player, just know it's not true and it's not happening. We are not signing any established or proven stars anymore. We had the Enzo Fernandez and the Moises Caicedo situation. We signed those players. We are not signing anyone who is an established player. It's not happening. It simply is not happening. So the sooner people realise that, the easier it's going to be for them. Chelsea do not sign top players anymore. The best transfer window we had, arguably, was the very first one when Bowley was doing a madness and he was acting as interim sporting director. Well, we signed Cucurella, we signed Fofana, we signed, I know Sterling and Koulibaly didn't work out and the Aubameyang transfer was poor as well. But we had Fofana, Cucurella. Who else joined in that window? I forget now. But actually turns out that most of our decent players arrived in that first window or the first two windows, because then Enzo and Caicedo arrived in the January 6 months later. But since then, Cole Palmer's arrived. Obviously, that was a gamble. We didn't really know how good he was going to turn out. He turned out to be very good. But this has got... what is the Chelsea project? I tweeted this last night. What is the Chelsea project right now? What is it? Because right now, I don't understand what the project is. The project just seems to be throw enough shit at the wall, some will stick. And then we'll dine out, we'll pat ourselves on the back and we'll celebrate the ones that stick. Ultimately, what we have done in the transfer market over the last 3 years has been nothing short of a disgrace, an embarrassment. All this money invested, all these players signed, and yet we still don't have a complete squad. How is that possible? How on earth is that possible? Bro, I agree. We were never in for Semenyo. We just briefed we were in for Semenyo to make it look like we were doing something, to make it look like, oh yeah, do you know what? Let's appease the fans. Let's make sure, you know, we're pretending we're interested in an XYZ player, and then actually we're not interested. But look, hey, we tried, and now we'll just go and sign a random teenager from the arse end of nowhere because that's what we do. Buy and inshallah. That's exactly what it is, bro. It's not even about the money at the end of the day. Yes, City will offer him more money than we would have offered, but it's the fact that he doesn't even believe in the project. This is a guy that at 25, 26 is basically saying to Chelsea, you're not in a position to win the major trophies right now. I'm not joining you. I'm going to go and join Manchester City, where I can go and win trophies instantly. And this is the problem. Anyone worth their salt, any established player knows Chelsea are a million miles away from winning the Premier League. Look at all the players who've been able to sign and tell me the age and how much competition we have for said players. Because we didn't have much competition for said players. All the players we have signed, there was next to no competition for them, and they were all either at a young age, not playing much football, or we were the biggest club interested in them at the time. That is literally it. No, I don't think James will leave. Obviously, Cucurella will move on at some point. Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo. If we don't start fixing up, then Yeah, there is a danger that those players will move on. Of course there is. Yeah, exactly, bro. This is it. Even next summer, you look at the players coming in. Pender's all right, big talent, has done quite well at Strasbourg, but is he really going to be Chelsea #1 next season? Is he ready for that? Omega, unproven. Mamadou Sarr, unproven. Semenyo, yeah, he's doing reasonably well at Bundesliga at Dortmund. Again, unproven. Quenda, yes, I think Quenda could be good, but he's going to need time as well. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke right now, what we're doing in the transfer market. But as soon as people realise what we are, then the better it is. Briefing, by the way, that you've decided against targets minutes before it's reported that they've decided to go elsewhere isn't the silver lining these directors think it is. It is a recurring pattern where we failed to secure a transfer target after we've briefed interest. And yet the manager gets a performance review. Where's the performance review for the Chuckle Brothers? Where is the performance review for the Chuckle Brothers? Where is it? Because there's zero accountability. They don't have to explain any reasoning behind what they've done. The one time they actually did do an interview, they came out and just patted themselves on the back, and it was all very like, I don't know what it was. It was just a load of nonsense. And then they just hide behind media briefings and never have to explain anything whatsoever, which is exactly everything that's wrong with modern day football at this point. It really is. It really is. And let's say it for how it is. The simple fact of the matter is, guys, these sporting directors are over promoted. They should not be in the position that they are in. They have lucked in massively. We knew they were underqualified for this role before they even got it. The club cannot move forward, in my opinion, chat. We are not going to move forward as a football club unless the owners take a step back and they actually put an adult in charge as a director of football, someone competent, someone that knows what they're doing. We were briefed best in class with these sporting directors. It couldn't be further away from what the reality is. There's we cannot keep wasting money. We needed a top director of football when these guys first took over. 3 years later, and countless millions wasted, we still need a top-class director of football. We cannot keep wasting money. We cannot keep wasting money. All we're doing is wasting money. And the Chelsea project is exactly this. Buy young players, develop them, sell them on for a profit, rinse and repeat the cycle. That is literally all we do. That's all we do, chat. It's all we do. No, we unfortunately we can't do that. We can't do that. Bro, that's exactly what we are. We're Brighton. We're Brighton, Leipzig, Dortmund on steroids. That's what we are. We're a bigger version of those clubs. And if you deep it, right, if you actually look at the vast, not all of the transfer business, the vast majority of the transfer business, and I tweeted this last night, the vast majority of Chelsea's transfer business is, what did I say? The vast majority of Chelsea's signings are either from Brighton, used to play for Man City, Joe Shield's recommendation, or agent favours with Jorge Mendes. That's what a transfer. That's what our transfer business is. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Plus players from Strasbourg as well. Bro, players have improved. Players have improved. We discussed this yesterday. You don't have to like the manager, but to say that no players have improved under him is just a lie. They have improved. Not obviously all of them, but very few managers improve every single player. But players have improved under this manager. There's no denying that. Look, we will win trophies. We will win cups. We'll win cup competitions. But the reality is, the very way that we operate is designed to is not designed to win leagues and to win the major trophies. Like, we can win cup competitions. We've been a cup side for years and years now. Years and years we've been a cup side. No, it's not all about buying players, but when the squad lacks the quality required and when the squad is incomplete, then players do need to be bought. That's the reality of the situation. And Cisso's not coming next season. But so there was that. And then another classic, right, guys? And you can see through this absolute BS, right? You can see through the absolute BS here. And one thing, as I said, about modern football, right? Sporting directors don't have to answer to the media whatsoever. The media basically serves as their defence. The sporting directors control the entire club at Chelsea. They run the club, yet they never take any responsibility for their failings, although they're very quick to pat themselves on the back. And the blame always gets put on the manager. That simply is not fair. Yes, you know, back in the day, chat, when managers had a bigger say over transfers, they rightly had to defend their signings in the media. That doesn't happen anymore. The modern day manager, whether it's Maresca, any manager, they have to publicly come out and try and defend decisions made by the people above them, even if they disagree with them. That's not fair. I don't like it. You know, I don't like it at all. In other sports, you see senior people holding press conferences like coaches do. Sporting directors in other leagues in Europe, they give press conferences. They explain the thought process behind the decisions that they make. Why does that not happen in the UK? Why does that not happen in the Premier League? Even if you don't agree with the decisions that have been made, at least there's a transparency and a reasoning behind it. And you can say, okay, fine, I don't agree with it, but this happened for X, Y, Z reason, rather than this constant cloak and dagger nonsense in the media. Constant cloak and dagger nonsense. You know, why don't Winstanley and Stewart ever make themselves available to the media? I see Winstanley and Stewart pretty much every week. Probably see them more than I see. Well, I do. I see them more than I see my mum. I see Winstanley and Stewart. See them at every single game. See them after every game. Why are these lot never, ever available to do media? You know, we need real answers. You know, we need answers. Instead of just texting out a mass briefing of nonsense, we need answers. We need answers. And do you know what's funny as well, by the way, chat? Do you know what's funny as well? How many times, let me bring this up, right? And you can see how stupid these directors think we are. So this was the David Ornstein, this was the brief, right? Chelsea decided against pursuing Antoine Semenyo. Made initial inquiry, but not planning to go further. Confidence in depth and quality of existing options. Now, where have we seen that before? Where have we seen that before? Oh, hang on a second, guys. Let me just bring this up on the screen. So this is last night, David Ornstein, obviously this is the brief. Let's bring up a brief from 2024 where the exact same thing happened. We got rejected. We weren't prepared to offer the money, whatever it was. Hang on a second. Chelsea withdraw from race to sign Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise. Felt finances involved were beyond reach. Instead, planned to reward existing players and new recruits. That sounds awfully similar to what was said last night. Plan to reward existing players and are still going to look at attackers in 2026. They are using the same brief time and time again. And they think we're going to fall for it. And I think we're idiots. Let me bring you another example. Mike Maignan. The same thing was briefed then. Let's have a look at the Mike Maignan brief where we actively pursued another goalkeeper and we weren't prepared to pay the price, but we actively pursued it. Let me just bring this brief up now from Mike Maignan because this sounds awfully similar. Awfully similar. Because it was exactly the same briefing. It was the same briefing, guys. Look at this. Worth noting, Chelsea still retain faith in Robert Sanchez despite actively looking to sign another goalkeeper instead of him. Mignan was a market opportunity explored by the directors. Maresca not driving the move and Chelsea sticking to their valuation. So it was the same briefing despite an active pursuit. You know, it's so easy for these for these directors and for the club just to put these briefs out and not have to take any accountability or answer any questions about anything. There it is. Semenyo, Osimhen, Mignan, 3 players that we actively pursued, got rejected, weren't prepared to pay the money for them, pretended we were interested, and then put out the exact same nonsense brief that we put out every single time we get pied. Every single time we get pied, that is the brief that goes out. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing what happens here. It really is. It's a disgrace, chat. I'm sorry. It is a complete and utter disgrace. Complete and utter disgrace. By the way, chat, it's also a disgrace. We're only on 30 likes. Make sure you smash that like button. Run the likes up, guys. We're on 30 likes. Get this up to 50 and beyond ASAP. Please do smash the like button. It's the season of goodwill after all, guys. And I'd greatly appreciate it. So make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. But let's get these likes up, people. Let me get to this super chat and then we'll get back to it. Big up, brother. Thanks for the donation. Every top team buys the players. Yes, no, bro, I'm fully aware of how modern football works. All I'm saying is that the manager needs to be given better players, needs to be given a complete squad, and he's earned the right to have a bit more of a say in what's going on. What accountability do they have to take? The accountability of why they made the decision to sign certain players, why they've wasted so much money on bang average players, why they consistently lie about being interested in top players, and then when they know what the price is, they know what the wages are, and then they pretend that the price and the wages are a shock. You know, no, of course we don't have. No, we don't have £65 million to spend in January. No, we absolutely do not. We do not have £65 million to spend in January. The directors need to go. Ed Barley needs to take a major step back and stop getting involved in the footballing matters and just take care of the business side. Yes, big up, brother. No, I wouldn't blame Maresca if he walks at the end of the season. So Fofana was there was no directors there. That was Todd Bowley that was Todd Bowley as sporting director. Yeah, okay, the Enzo Fernandez and the Caicedo, fair enough. You know, they paid the money for those players. But outside of that, there's very, very little to shout home about. Yeah, exactly. We are believing squad depth, FC, except we don't believe in the depth because we actively brief that we're looking for better players in that position. And then suddenly we backtrack on that when we get rejected and pretend we believe in the existing options when we blatantly don't believe in the existing options. Bro, they're not interested. They can pretend to be interested. They know the conditions of the deal. It's very clear. There was no price to negotiate. Semenyo was £65 million, and you know what the wages are going to be. So this idea that they didn't know what the price was is bullshit. Of the release clause, £65 million, everybody knows what the price was. So let's not do this where we're pretending they weren't aware of what the price was. Is this where we're at now, chat? Is this where we're at? We're pretending that we didn't know about the price. Come on. All right. By the way, I need to thank you for bringing this point up. Let me put this to you. Why are we under UEFA restrictions in the first place? For reckless spending and wasting money on bang average players. That is why we are in the position that we're in with UEFA restrictions. We are restricted by UEFA because we spent recklessly in the market and we signed bang average players. That is why we're in that position. The sole reason that we got UEFA restrictions is because we overspent and we signed shit players. That's the reality That's the reality of the situation. We're restricted because we've been crap in the market. It's that simple. 50 plus million on Mykhailo Mudryk to pay. 60 million we paid for Nkunku. What else? Best part of 20 million Washington. Amari Kellyman, who's in League One now, was 15 million. 300k a week that we're paying Raheem Sterling. All these actions, guys, have consequences. 30 million quid that we paid for Disasi. The reckless spending has finally caught up with us. And this is why we've been punished. Reckless spending. So we're not using the sporting directors got us into this mess in the first place. So we can't be using the UEFA restrictions as a way to try and support them as if their hands are tied behind their backs for some unforeseen circumstances. We're in this situation because of them. Because of the reckless spending, because of the wasted money, because of the inflated fees that we paid for players, that is why we're in a massive mess. This is really not hard to understand, guys. Yeah, he did reject us. Of course he did. What actually is the problem? So, I mean, bro, the problem is, right, is that why brief interest if you know full well you've got no chance of signing the player? Why would you put that brief out there that you've made an inquiry and you like the player and you're interested to then 5 hours later withdraw? Why would you embarrass yourself by putting that out there? Bro, reckless spending. Yes, reckless spending. Paying way over the odds for average players. Not all of them. We've wasted a lot of money. We've wasted a lot of money. That's why we've got why do you think we're in these UEFA restrictions? Because we broke the rules through reckless spending. You broke the rule through reckless spending. Bro, it's not a new setup. It's just I'm not at home at the moment. Yes, they did. Yes, they did buy Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. They did. And actually, on both occasions, Egbali had to fucking jet in and close the deal because those idiots couldn't close the deal. They did buy Mudryk. The same thing happened there. Egbali had to get on the private jet and go and sort it out. Cucurella was a Todd Bowley signing. That's fine. Directors, Caicedo, Enzo, Mudryk, all of them. Yep, okay. Sterling agreed was also a Bowley signing. No, I believe with a better squad, we'd be second. Yeah, with a better squad, we would be second. Yeah, absolutely. I agree on that front. Absolutely, I agree on that front. Yeah, it is embarrassing. Big up, brother. Because funny enough, Liverpool had a good transfer window. Yeah, okay, the signings haven't worked out, but they spent and they signed top players. United, they know their place. They know their place. Yeah, terribly. And I've criticised that a lot. Bro, I think you're getting confused that when these sporting directors came in, most of that squad is all these sporting directors. The only players that aren't sporting... Bro, Vivell was here for like 6 months at the football club. He barely did anything. Bro, the only players we've missed, right, are Cole Palmer, big miss. Levi Cole, obviously a big miss. And then Delap. Let's not do this, that we've had some sort of hardship where so many players have been missing. But look, there's no surprise. We see it time and time again. There's these nonsense briefs that, we think they just take us for absolute idiots. We're not a serious club. We're not a serious club. Until we start buying players for the now, we are never going to be a serious club, chat. We're not going to be a serious club if we don't start buying players for the here and now. How many more times can we keep saying, oh, we'll be good in a few years, we'll be good in a few years, we'll be good in a few years? I'm sick of hearing that. I'm sick of saying that. What about now? What about now? What are we doing to improve this team right now? And the answer is we're not doing very much. We're not doing very much at all. That is the answer, chat. That is the answer, pure and simple. We are not doing enough to improve this team right now. James didn't play against Leeds. And look, no, I agree. The players we've got and the squad we've got are good enough to have won those games. Brighton and Man United, the manager got it completely wrong with the negative substitutions at 10 men. Sunderland was a poor performance, as was Leeds. They are responsible. Who's signing the players? Who is signing the players? Yes, the manager obviously needs to take responsibility for certain things that are taking place on the pitch. I fully accept that, and I've criticised him multiple times. But there are only two people who are responsible for the state of the squad and the players that we're signing, and that's the sporting directors. Surprise, surprise. I said yesterday that the links was made for Gaza. If you don't know how this model works, yeah, no, facts. We're not a million miles, but yeah, but bro, we say this. But this is the thing: we say this every transfer window. Oh, we need 3 to 4 more players. We need 3 to 4 more players, and every transfer window comes and goes. And it's the same thing. Oh, we still need 3 to 4 players. How many transfer windows have gone by, right, where we keep saying, yeah, we need 3 to 4 more players. We need 3 to 4 more players. Every window that goes by and it closes, and we're still saying, oh, we need 3 or 4 more players, guys. No, I don't reckon at all. Could already tell you what the summer transfer window is. It's Omega and Quenda coming in. We'll probably keep one of Ansel Mina or Mamadou Sarr added to the squad. Penders maybe comes back, and we'll probably sign one midfield player. So that's going to be the extent of the transfer window. It's not going to be great, guys. I'll be straight up with you. It's not going to be great. Yeah, guys, keep smashing the like buttons. Keep smashing the like button, chat. How many likes are we on? We're on 51. We're 100 in the building, guys. Smash the likes. Come on, guys. Keep getting these likes up. Subscribing if you're new around here. We see what an experienced player can do for a Xhaka. Yeah, I know exactly, bro, but that's not what we're doing anymore. That's not what we're doing anymore. Bro, just because we haven't sold our best players at the moment, that doesn't give me confidence, because you're never going to build anything when you're constantly selling 4 or 5 players from the team every transfer window and bringing in players worse than the ones that are leaving and starting the process all over again. You can see how we're not moving forward. You can see how this season we've stagnated. Is there a Fabrizio update, or are people just gassing? Let's have a look. I mean, who's going on about a Fabrizio? Let's have a look. I don't think there is. I don't think there is, chat. No, there isn't anything. I'm not really sure who's going on about that. I don't know what's going on about that. What's happening there? Yeah, but we're not getting that, and that's the point. How can we not see, right, how After all this money spent, all these players signed, and we still don't have a complete squad. How can you not see that as a failure on behalf of the directors? It's beyond me. Oh yeah, Esteval's fit and available for Villa. That's it. Yeah. We all need to be more vocal in our disapproval of the ownership. Maybe pressure will help. I don't think it will. Ultimately, I don't think they're bothered about what fans think. They're sticking to their plan, and that's that. Well, it's not going to happen, but I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't really think it's that necessary. No, I don't think it's too much to ask, right? To throw in some proven players and established proven quality into the mix with the talented youngsters we've got. How is that asking too much? That isn't asking much at all. That really isn't asking an awful lot. I don't get it. I don't get why people think that's such a big ask. Yeah, but the thing is, bro, we're not challenging for the title. We're not going to push on and challenge for a title next season. If that was the case, that we're going to challenge for the title next season, then fine. But I think we know deep down we're not challenging for the title next season. No, there's nothing happening in January. I agree. Bro, it's not experience. We just need more proven quality. We've got experienced players. The problem we've got is a lack of quality. There's a lack of quality. A lack of proven quality in this team right now. You know, when you constantly have upheaval every summer, there's going to be a big problem, chat. There's going to be a big problem, guys. Bro, we don't know yet. I don't understand what your point is. Yes, there is some quality. There's not enough quality, which is why we're struggling. There's not enough proven quality. What are we doing here? Brother, that's not happening. We're done. We're done. That race was over before it started. We're cooked in that Semenyo race. We got straight up rejected. We pretended we were interested, and yeah, we're done. We've been cooked. Yeah, we should have done. We missed a massive opportunity in the summer. And I was saying this in the summer when people were trying to gas the summer window to me and say it was great. It wasn't great. It was about a 4 or 5 out of 10. We missed a major opportunity to go and do some business. We were a joke. We were a joke in that transfer market. And once again, we'll finish in the top 4, top 5. We'll get Champions League football. We might win a cup, but we'll be nowhere near challenging for the league title. And that's not what we want to be. That is not what we want to be. Yeah, it's a bro. You're facts. It is a constant cycle of mediocrity, bro. The project is a joke, and I think we might have taken me a bit of a while to wake up, but there isn't really a project. Let's be real, guys. There's not really a project. What is the project? The project is sign a load of players, develop them for a couple of years, sell them for profit, rinse and repeat. There's not a project here. It is, yeah, it is. Garnacho's not a bad signing, right, as a squad player. Garnacho's a bad signing when he's a first-choice starting left winger. That's why it's a bad signing. I don't mind Garnacho as a squad option with, it should have been Garnacho and then an established, proven left winger. The issue with the Garnacho signing is that he's a starting winger on the left when he's nowhere near good enough for that role at this stage of his career currently. He's not good enough. Yeah, more nonsense. The window we had in the summer, we could have had with no Champions League football. Yeah, but bro, we've been down this road so many times before. You know full well we're not going to get Anderson. We're not going to get Wharton. We'll have the same brief. We'll pretend we're interested. Then we won't pay the money or the wages. And then we'll put out, we believe in the existing options. Like how much more evidence do we need to bring up from various different players of the BS that's going to happen? Yes, there's an interest in Anderson and Wharton. There's going to be a long line of clubs interested in them. And we have seen that when we have to try and convince a player to join and other top clubs are interested, we can't do it. We cannot do it. Bro, we are not signing Kenan Yildiz, right? If Kenan Yildiz doesn't extend his contract at Juventus, there is no way Kenan Yildiz is joining Chelsea. Bro, we need 3 top quality players. That is a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot of players that we still need. That's 3 top quality players. And we've got people acting like these directors are going to A, do that, and B, that these players are going to choose to join us. They're not. Yeah, bro, it's fine that they're filling the profile they want. No, that's not an issue. But when it actually comes to paying the money and the wages and convincing these players, I'm yet to be convinced that they can do that. Because all the players we've signed are either coming from smaller clubs, and so coming to Chelsea is a big step up for them, or there's been no interest from anyone else. We've not beaten any big teams to a signing, really. Really, since the Caicedo thing, although that wasn't really, we were in the driving seat, we were negotiating on our own, and we took so long that we almost let Liverpool in. No, they don't. Big players don't want to come to Chelsea, and that's kind of a mad thing. And that's the mad thing, chat. Profile's important, right? But nothing's more important than quality. And we're overlooking quality. For too long now in this market, we have been going for quantity over quality. And that needs to stop. That has got to stop, this quality over quantity nonsense. Oh, this quantity over quality nonsense, sorry. That's got to stop. Has to stop. I just don't understand it, guys. I do not understand what we are doing here. Bro, he doesn't need... Yeah, bro, that's 2 players. Funnily enough, there's 9 more players that make a team. 2 players are not going to win you championships. You know, you need a consistent team. I've not said that all the players we've got are crap and there's no quality. There is a lack of quality across the board. There's about 4 or 5 top players and the rest are average or they're okay. That's the reality. James, Cucurella, Palmer, Caicedo, and you could put Enzo Fernandez in there. You've got 4 or 5 top proven players there. Okay. The rest of them, all right, you've got Esteval, who's young, upcoming talent, potential superstar. But out of all the players we've signed, there are 5 top quality players. Joao Pedro is not in the same bracket as the 5 that have been mentioned. Neto, you could put him in that based on this season. But there are 4 or 5 at a push 6 players that have been signed out of however many we've signed in the last 3 years. To have 5 at a push 6 top quality signings out of all the signings we've made and all the money we've spent is a poor return. Poor return. Yeah, bro, I'm starting to think it is. The bag is the project. That's what we're interested in, securing the bag. Worried about Palmer in what sense? Well, this is it exactly. If you buy loads of players, then 3 or 4 of them are probably going to turn out to be all right. Yeah, exactly. This is what I've been saying all along. It's quality over quantity. Stop signing so many players and actually bring in less, but bring in proven quality. That's what we need to do. Proven quality needs to arrive at the football club. We should be. No idea, but there's no rush. It's not like he's running out of... We didn't bid for Yildiz this summer. We did not bid for Yildiz this summer. There was no confirmation from anyone serious that we bid for Yildiz. Yeah, we can be interested. Of course we can be interested. But what you don't understand is, bro, interest is so different to making an offer, agreeing personal terms, and actually signing the player. Clubs are interested in loads of players. But taking the next step from interest to bid to closing deal, those are big steps. We're interested. We didn't bid for Yildiz. And I'm telling you now, Chelsea will not sign Kenan Yildiz this summer. Cucurella is not overrated. That's nonsense. He's absolutely not overrated. He's the best left back in the league. He's one of the best left backs in world football. Yes, there are certain flaws, but he is not overrated. I'm not really sure where that's coming from. Guys, keep smashing the likes, by the way. We're just shy of 100 people in the building. 61 likes. Make sure you are smashing the like button. We're not getting Yildiz chat. I think look, I wouldn't be concerned about that. He'll be back to his best. It does take a little bit of time. That's the reality of the situation. It does take It does take a little bit of time to get things sorted. Bro, we didn't bid for him. Sure, we can push, we can be interested. We're keeping an eye on the contract extension negotiations. That doesn't mean that we're going to sign him. Big up, brother. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out in India as well. Bro, Nico Paz is going Real Madrid. They got a buyback option on. They're going to bring him back. Bro, I don't need to bet on Yildiz, but the idea that you think we've got a serious chance of signing Yildiz, despite all the evidence that has been presented to us over the last few transfer windows that we don't sign serious footballers, is ridiculous. Yildiz will sign a contract extension at Juventus. It will just be using. Yeah, bro, that's not a reliable source. That's not a reliable source. Unless it's an Ornstein or a Fabrizio or reputable Chelsea journalists, and that's not even a reputable Italian source. It's you know, let's be real here. Let's not get deluded by this. Yildiz is going to sign a contract extension. Yeah, you could easily see Oscar Bob happening because Oscar Bob now is out of contract, not out of contract, sorry, he's out of favour at Man City. You could easily see a move for Bob happening. Ethan Nwaneri, again, is another one that Chelsea have had previous interest in. He's not playing much at Arsenal. Wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea, attempted to try and make a move for him. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It's the sort of signings we'd make. Bro, the sprinter races are already being questioned. They're already being questioned. Multiple questionings on them because what they're doing, they're not doing a good enough job. That's the reality of the situation. The job that's being done is not good enough. Bro, I'm not depressed. I'm just saying it how it is. I'm not pretending and getting all gassed up that we're going to sign Kenan Yildiz because we're not. That's the reality of the situation. Oscar Bob is no. There has been previous links in the past, and also it's exactly the sort of signing that Chelsea would make. It's someone that's come through the Man City academy. It's someone that's of an age that they would recruit, and he's out of favour at City. It's exactly the sort of thing that you would see Chelsea doing. Exactly the sort of thing that you would see Chelsea doing. But yeah, look, ultimately, that Semenyo thing was an absolute farce. An absolute farce. I don't understand why we ever briefed that we were interested in Semenyo to 5 hours later then retracting our interest and saying we're done, we're out the race. Literally none of that makes any sense to me whatsoever. But hey, that's the way we go. Yeah, the Semenyo thing was a waste of time. It was a waste of time and it was an embarrassment. And I don't get why we did it. I really don't understand why we did it. But anyway, we'll move away from that. Let's talk about let's talk about the game. Massive game against Aston Villa, chat. Massive game against Aston Villa on Saturday. Enzo Maresca's banned from the touchline after picking up a booking against Newcastle last weekend. This is a tough game. Esteval and Liam Delap are both available, which is somewhat of a boost. Disasi is not going to Barcelona, which is somewhat of a boost. Really pleased with that. There's another couple of attacking options to have. But it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Villa are very good. The fact that it's at Stamford Bridge is better for us. We've actually got a half decent record against Villa at the Bridge, although our home form this season isn't particularly good whatsoever. We're going to have to be at our best. Morgan Rogers is in absolutely outstanding form. He is in outstanding form for Villa. He's scoring goals for fun. He's just a top operator, at the peak of his powers right now. He's a top operator at the peak of his powers right now. And we can't afford to lose this. We're already 7 points behind. We're already 7 points behind Aston Villa. If we were to lose this, that's 10 points behind Villa. I know there's still half the season to go and Villa will lose games and Villa will drop points. But if we drop 10 points behind Aston Villa, I'm not sure we will. I'm not sure we can I'm not sure we would overturn that. I'm really not sure we'd overturn that. Yeah, Villa would take the draw for sure. Villa would absolutely take the draw. But yeah, I'm not sure we'd be able to overturn that, chat. I'm really not convinced we would. Yeah, I don't. It's such a. I mean, it's actually like, you know. I don't get why people ask questions like that. What is the point? It's just a complete waste of a question. You've got an opportunity to actually ask something informative to try and find something out that people want to hear, and instead, you know, you've got asking a question like that. What a complete and utter waste of time. Complete and utter waste of time. Complete and utter waste of time. But hey, Delap won't start this game. Delap won't just go straight into the starting lineup. He absolutely won't. No, he won't. Guys, we're on 65 likes. Let's get this up to 70 likes. Come on, people. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Well, I don't know if we'll cook them. I'm hopeful we'll win. Midfield duels will be massive, you know, the likes of Enzo and Caicedo or Reece James and whoever it might be up against, you know, Boubacar Kamara, Onana, Tielemans, McGinn, strong midfield. Yes, you as well, bro. Where am I on the 27th? I am Matthew Harding lower. Arsenal League Cup's 55 quid. Game's gone. 55 quid for a League Cup semi-final. Disgusting. The game is fully gone. The game is fully gone on that front. Yeah, but they're away though, and they've in their last few away games they have conceded early goals in I think 3 of them. They conceded early at Leeds, conceded early against West Ham. They are conceding early goals. Bro, I agree with you. I think it's a must-win. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that's the case. That's a possibility, but it's not something Maresca's really done very much this season at all. So I don't really see him going with that. I wouldn't be dead against that, but I think we know that that's not going to be the case, personally. Potentially, and I think look, the fact that Villa want to come and play football, that we will have a bit more space, that should help us. That should absolutely help us. Because international management is very, very different to club management, and I don't necessarily think he's any better than what we've currently got. I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm just not. I just don't think he's got what it takes to make that step up to a big club. Personally, I could be wrong on that. Let's see what he does after he's coached Argentina. Whenever he eventually leaves that job, will he go into club management? Let's have a look. Right. Let's get into a little lineup chat. Let's get into a lineup as to what we might see, or what I'd like to see against Aston Villa. Yeah, potentially we should have done that, but I don't disagree. Let me get the lineup builder up, guys. Let me get the lineup builder up. Just going to bring this up now, chat. Bear with me. Right, let's get this on screen. Let's go through it, guys. Let me know what you'd like to see. Obviously, I'll go with what I'm seeing. If we get any agreements or disagreements, that's cool. Yes, you too, mate. You too. Well, it doesn't matter what striker. The only striker we're getting is already signed. It's Emmanuel Omega. He's coming, so that's that. That's it. Emmanuel Omega is joining in the summer, so that's it. I would have kept Jackson this summer. He doesn't want to play for Chelsea, so it's a relevant point, really. Yeah, Esteban's not going to start this game. He's been injured the last couple. He's not going to come back and go straight into the lineup. Right, anyway, it'll be Sanchez in goal. So we've got Sanchez. Cucurella left back. Centre-back pairing, obviously Chalobah and Fofana. Oh, what the fuck's that gone up there? Right. Oh, why did that not go in? Fofana. So Chalobah and Fofana. And Gusto didn't have a particularly good game at right back. Right. Ridiculous comments from that guy. So he's been banned and removed. Banned from the channel for outrageous comments there. Yeah, the team should be well rested. For me personally, I want to see Reece James at right back for this game. I don't think there's a need for James to be in midfield in this game. James at right back. I will go with Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield. I spelled him wrong. There we go. And then Enzo in midfield there. That's what I would go with. Garnacho's not been great recently, but he probably still does start on that left side. Go Neto on the right. We know that's going to be the case. Cole Palmer will play in the 10. And then up front will be João Pedro, and Delap, I imagine, will come off the bench at some point. So that's the team that I would go with. The only changes that you might go with is... The only other thing you might do is James in midfield, James in midfield, Gusto at right back, push Enzo into the 10, play Palmer on the right, Neto on the left. That's another thing that you could potentially do. I don't know if Maresca will do that. I don't think he will. But as a possibility, he might. We know how much he likes using Malo Gusto. So yeah, there's every chance that could happen. Every chance that could happen. But yeah, I think there's a pretty good, pretty sound situation that will be the team. Guys, we're a couple likes away from 70. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Make sure you are running those likes up, guys. It's the season of goodwill after all. So smash the like button, subscribe if you're new as well, guys. Let's get this as close to 100 likes as we can. There's still enough of you in here to get the likes up, so make sure you're doing that. And of course, subscribe if you are new round here. I would be very appreciative of that as well. Be very appreciative. That's the team I'd go with. Is that good enough to get the win? Absolutely. But again, one thing we have to do, guys, we cannot afford to have another shocking first half. We can't afford to have another shocking first half. We've got to turn up. We have to be ready for this game, prepared, know what to expect. Because in the last few games, we have not known what to expect. I wouldn't say he'll never play on the right again, but I'm not sure he will. What else have we got going on? Someone's saying there's been an update. Has there been an update? Let's have a look. Let me just refresh this. Apparently there's been a price update. Or is someone just having me on? No, I think someone's just mugged me off there. There isn't anything. Yeah, Rice is a top player. 100% he is. 100% Rice is a top player. You know, there's nothing there. There's no updates. I don't know what people were getting at there. I'm really unsure at what people were getting at, but hey, Each to their own on that front. Each to their own on that front. What else is going on? Yeah, exactly. I don't know what people are getting at there. But that's the team that I'd go with. I think that's the team that gives us, a good chance of getting the job done. And ultimately, yeah, we need Delap's back. Yes, Delap will be back for this game. He won't be starting though. He definitely won't be starting. But again, there's enough there. There's enough there to get the job done to win this game. But again, it depends on the application. It depends what if the players turn up. I'm just going to be so disappointed if we see another shocking first half. Because against better teams, you cannot afford to have a bad first half. You can't give up 2-goal leads. You're not always going to be able to come back from those positions. You won't always be able to do that. You will not always be able to come back from those positions. So we've got to put ourselves in the best position possible to win the match. And that means not conceding an early goal. And that means not starting the way that we've started games over the previous few weeks. That's what we cannot be doing. I don't know if Maresca will put James in the midfield. I'm not sure. Look, there's absolutely a chance that could happen. Have we lost the game under Big Willie? No, I don't think we have. No, I don't think we have. He was there for Liverpool. Not for Liverpool, sorry. He was there for Forest. And we won 3-0, despite a shocking first half. So, I think, look, we're unbeaten, I think, when Big Willie's on the touchline. So, yeah, maybe that's something to feel confident about. Maybe that is something that we could feel confident about. I'm not sure. Guys, get this up to 70 likes. Smash that like button. Come on, people. It's not hard, and it would really help me out. So please do that. What else is going on here? What else is going on here? Let's have a look if there's any other. It could be a Big Willie masterclass. It could be a Big Willie masterclass, although let's not get too carried away. Let's have a look what else there might be. Anything interesting? Yeah, no, I don't think there's much else coming through. Anyone got any questions about anything? I think there's a very good chance, by the way, chat, that we'll see a cold celebration. Hopefully, it's from Palmer, but there's a good chance that we could be seeing it from Morgan Rogers. We could absolutely be seeing it from Morgan Rogers. There's every chance that that will be the case, and that could be a problem. But I think there's a bit more to Villa than just closing down Rodgers. Sure, if you close Rodgers down, that's going to give us a better chance, and that's going to stifle them in some way. But they aren't just Morgan Rogers. Obviously, he's been a massive part of this run, but they're not just Morgan Rogers. There is more to Aston Villa's game than Morgan Rogers. So look, yeah, stop Morgan Rogers. That will obviously that will help out. Of course, it will, but. Yeah, there's much more to Aston Villa than them. Yeah, I think so. No, it would be. Anselmino is not going to be called back. We're not going to buy a centre-back in January. I think people, you know, are going to be very disappointed if you think Chelsea are going to do a lot of business in January. We aren't. We aren't going to be doing a lot of business in January, chat. So, you know, expect it to be a quiet month unless any injuries occur or unless there's any opportunities that present themselves that they didn't expect to be presenting themselves. Otherwise, yeah, very, very little is going to happen next month, according to all the reports. But of course, things can change quickly in football. But yeah, no, we're not going to be seeing an awful lot going on, in my view. Yeah, last push for the likes. Last push for the likes. We are on 70. I wonder if we can push that to 80. Let's push that to 80, chat. But yeah, last push for the likes. Yeah, the only incomings we'll do potentially are signings like that Dina Adonez, the 16-year-old that will join in a couple of years. It will be similar signings to that. Teenagers, young players that might join. Young players that will join when they turn 18. We're not going to do anything significant in January. Yes, big up, brother. Bro, we're not going to recall Anselmino. Recalling Anselmino serves no purpose whatsoever. He's playing regularly at Dortmund. He's doing well. Yeah, it's going to be mad. Yeah, it's going to be mad. No, Cole's not out. No, Palmer's playing. There's only 3 players injured: Asugu, Lavia, and obviously Levi Colwell, which has been the case all season. So yeah, no, the injury list is very low, and that's great. That's a great position to be in. A great position to be in. But yeah, I hope we can get the job done on Saturday. We need that. We need that win. This would be a massive win. If we can beat Villa, right, that's 7 points from Everton, Newcastle and Villa. 7 points from 9. And we all would have taken that. We all would have taken that. That would have been very decent. Would have been very decent. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to recall Anselmino. Why would you recall Anselmino? Because he's playing well. He's playing regularly. He's not going to suddenly come to Chelsea and go into the team. No, Cole's not out against Aston Villa. He's not out. Sarr, I think, has been reasonably good for Villa. But again, I don't know what the plan is for him. What's the plan for Sarr, Anselmino, Achimpong, all players of a very similar age, all in the same position? They're not all going to make it at Chelsea. So, yeah, I don't know what the plan is for some of those guys. I really don't. I really don't. But I guess at some point we will find out exactly what that plan is. I mean, someone's got to have an idea what the plans are here. But I don't know who that someone is. The thing is, we're not going to do that because it will be Colwell coming back. We won't sign Murillo. We won't sign Murillo. Too much money, and I think, yeah, they're not going to look at him. Yeah, it certainly feels like it. No, Enciso's a Strasbourg player. Enciso's not Chelsea. Enciso was signed by Strasbourg with a view to joining Chelsea at some point. I don't think we will sign in CISO. I mean, look, Colwell, I think, is very, very good. Chelsea are not going to sign Murillo. I would absolutely take Murillo, but yeah, he's not going to be signed. Murillo won't be signed to Chelsea. He absolutely won't be. Oh, what's happened there? Yeah, no chance. No chance is Murillo signed to Chelsea. I don't know what's happening with Paez. He's not done particularly well. I don't think he's done that well at Strasbourg. He doesn't appear to be playing much. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Right, so one last check if anything else has come in, chat, and then I'm going to round this one out. No, nothing else. But Barco's not an attacking midfielder, though. He's just playing in central midfield. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back. I'm sure he'll get back to the level that we need, but yeah, it will be interesting how he comes back. It definitely will be. But yeah, chat. I'm going to round this one out now. Big up to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new round here. I've got an Aston Villa opposition preview dropping with Luke from Up the Villa podcast at about, well, in the next hour or so. So stay tuned for that on the channel. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. If you're celebrating Christmas, have a great day tomorrow, guys. Appreciate all of your support as always. And we will be back on Friday or certainly Saturday with the post-match content. So big yourselves up. Have a great Christmas if you're celebrating, guys. Thank you for all the support. Enjoy the rest of your day. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Love.